Hi guys, welcome to the channel. If you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, I have taken an immense amount of time, and I'm still taking time. I just got called up here to do a message today, so I'm not sure what this is going to be. I'm just feel like I need to do just maybe a general message. I was going to try to get back into the signs and all that. That's just not happening. I have a lot of stuff going on in life, but not really. It's I think like when I've done the previous videos, the last month or two of videos that I was doing, I was getting a lot about integration. And after being, and I think I've described this before in my videos as kind of being up in the lighthouse and then kind of coming down to the shore to kind of be with, be in on the ground. It's kind of hard to explain, but I've been on the ground, in the earth matters, in the earth energy, in the yeah, it's strange energy to explain or describe, you guys, but it's just, it happens. And if you are aware of and it's probably planetary and stuff, there's a lot going on, and it's just, I'll get I got a lot of stuff happening beyond the physical. It's probably Neptune, stuff like that, just if you apply astrology to energy. But I've been taking a break from digging into it or going into it further. I've just been really in a very observant receiving place, kind of just figuring out what's kind of being shown to me, watching and observing what's being shown, what's being illuminated for me. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm still doing well. It's just been a lot of just work and then coming home and doing my games, or spending some time just just being human, and that's the best way I can describe it. So I still got these decks out here from the readings. I am going to pull a few cards. We're going to see what comes out. If you are still with my channel, and I know I've lost a few subscribers, and it's fine. I never did this for subscribers, and I'm not going to, yeah, I'm not going to sweat. But if you are still here and you're watching this, hello, and I appreciate you, and I hope you're doing well. And that's why I started doing these, because I was guided to put this stuff, these messages, and the interaction I was having with the images and the cards and stuff out for people, because it's a lot of insight, and there's a lot of deep work that can be done psychologically for us when we sit down and focus on that. I have done a lot of work over the last 5 years. If you've been with my channel, I'm a recovering drug addict, alcoholic. I've done a lot of work, a lot of work, and it's not just sobering up. I didn't just quit drinking. It's been a huge transformation. It's been a huge healing process. I still have people, even I will say one maybe person in my life that still says, oh, all you did was quit drinking. No, that's not all I've done. I've done a lot. I've had to do a lot of deep work, deep shadow work. And I hope my journey can and has helped some other people do some of that work that they need to do to be just to feel better in the skin they're in and with their journeys. And whether that journey has been tumultuous, and we all have failed, and we all have made mistakes and bad choices in our lives, just know that you are totally worth doing the work for, and you're totally not the same person you were when you were 20 or 18 or 16 or whatever. We grow, we evolve, we develop, and if you do the work, a lot can change. Your perception changes, which changes your interaction with people, things. It's felt kind of it's felt like there's just been a need to kind of I don't want to say shut down, but it's just a it's not shutting down through using or doing anything. It's just a it's like a charging. I guess if I could describe it as energy, it'd be like recharging. Haven't been really doing anything. I'm just recharging and taking in the energy that I need to take in for whatever's coming next. And we just don't know what that is. This is not for future telling or anything. This is about energies we're feeling right now. Like I said, I haven't been not feeling the energy. I'm definitely feeling the energy, maybe a lot more than I can interact with right now. And that's why it's been kind of shut down. The channel's been kind of shut down. I actually even thought about shutting it completely down and just deleting the videos and just saying, you know what, I'm done. But I just know this is something I'm always going to come back to, and I always have. I've been doing this very long time. In the times I took breaks or just stopped, always something was going on in life. Like there was a big growth or a change happening in my physical reality and that's exactly what's happening too here today, now in my life. It's a lot. And none of it neither good nor bad. It's just shifts and changes that are happening that require me to be present. And I think that I've talked about that the last couple months in the videos or previous months, previous readings before the break here. It's very important for us to be present and observe not only what we're seeing and what we're getting from our environment, but to determine whether and how and what part of that we are and where we belong in that, and if we want to be a part of that. So it's been a lot of evaluation. Like there's a lot of evaluation going on. So I am feeling that. So let's go ahead and pull some cards, you guys. Once again, thank you. I appreciate you guys more than you know. And I've thought about whoever's still on the channel with me. I've thought about you, and I hope you're doing well. And a couple, that have commented in the past. I think about you and your grieving process and your healing process and your artistic processes. And I'm like, I hope they're doing well. And I send prayers out and good vibes to everybody who needs them. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with, we're going to do a Wisdom Keeper's Inner Oracle, and we're going to see what comes out for us today. This is just going to be a general message. I'm not putting this towards anybody. Oh, and this one really is calling out. So we're going to just use this. Intimacy. This kind of goes with what I'm saying too. It's about being close to those we are around and becoming intimate and vulnerable. And that's been this energy. I can't wait to receive this message that we're going to get today, because I have a feeling I was called up here a lot for me too, not just this, but I like to record these because there's other people going through these same energies. I just know it. So intimacy, I love it. There's like a crane on her forehead too. And we have like cranes that come around here every year, and it's crane time right now. And I've been hearing them a lot. So to me, that's a personal like synchronicity. Okay. So it's very nice. And then the primal, the gorilla down on her chin, it's like this primal energy. Okay. So let's read this. Intimacy 59. Okay. The gift is intimacy. The shadow is dishonesty. The city is transparency. My parents had a strong chemistry, but their relationship was fraught with tension and conflict. My father constantly complained about being trapped. When he went out at night, my mother would bombard him with intrusive questions and throw fits when he would fess up his latest extramarital escapade. Usually he'd go on in a huff, removing himself from family activities. But instead of sharing how excluded he felt, the whole fiasco would repeat itself. Throughout my childhood, my parents kept so many secrets and never came clean with their hurts. I was a deep, shy, and introverted teen. I was a deep, shy, and introverted teen, unlike my siblings. I could never figure out how to interact with the opposite sex. It all seemed so messy, so I stayed home while my siblings dated and felt excluded, like my mother. Even when they invited me along or tried to set me up, I was convinced they just pitied me and didn't want me there, so I refused. As I got older, I developed friendship with men, but was never attracted to the nice ones. When with someone I felt attracted to, usually a bad boy, I felt a surge of mistrust and shut down. Until I met a man I couldn't resist. Our sexual chemistry was so powerful it felt spiritual. For the first time, I fantasized about marriage and children. He wasn't a bad man, and I sincerely believe he cared about me, but I couldn't control my fears or their control over me. To avoid losing him, I hid aspects of who I was and played games to keep him interested. I often doubted why he wanted to be with me, so I excluded myself from his social life and then felt rejected. Or when I felt him slipping away, I tried to prevent him from having a social life. When he called me controlling, jealous, and dishonest, I broke up with him. It took me a long time to grieve the loss of that relationship and to feel the terror beneath the sadness and anger that I'd been carrying with me since childhood. That was the beginning of a long journey towards radical honesty with myself and in my relationships. Today, my beloved partner and I counsel couples, helping them with their own fears. Share their truth, open their ears and their hearts to each other. Without pulling or pushing away, intimacy is my greatest teacher and my spiritual path. My gift to you. It's time to come clean with the people you love, to be truly intimate. It is so hard, you guys, to be vulnerable and intimate with those we love because we carry such deep wounds of rejection, such deep wounds of, and maybe even from that same person or that same situation, you guys. This is real stuff. I do talk about real stuff on this channel. So it's really hard to be vulnerable and say, I love you and you mean the world to me, and talk about your fears and your insecurities. Especially, it's really hard too, especially if you have been on the healing path and you have been working on this stuff and you still aren't perfect. We're never going to be perfect, you guys. We're always going to be working through something. I'm not here to tell you it's going to be perfect. It just isn't, but it can be better. And your relationships can be better. But being vulnerable and being intimate is scary, especially for people that grew up in a place that just wasn't that close or intimate, or had the dysfunction of this maybe fakeness, this fake, masky, fronty, like it looks this way, but it feels this way. That's been this energy too. It's really, really feeling it, not just looking at it and seeing how it looks. How does it feel? To be truly intimate, you must be totally honest with yourself and be willing to accept and express your deepest fears. Understand when you open a door to another person, you are letting go of control and opening yourself up to being influenced on a deep emotional level. Not trying to control what they're doing, not trying to control how they make you feel. It's interesting because and I know this is just a general human thing, but we try to make others make us feel a certain way. We put a lot of responsibility about the way we feel on other people. And it's not their responsibility. It's just not. If they feel okay treating you a certain way, that's them. Don't let it make you feel a certain way about the way, if they're okay treating you that way, or they're okay, you don't have to be okay with it just because they're okay with it. And you don't have to, you can't change it though. That's another thing, you guys. That's another message. If you carry wounds from the past, as most of us do, this can be scary, whether you fear being trapped or abandoned. Do not judge your feelings. You will be rewarded with unleashed creativity, beauty and sensuality, and the wonderful possibility of communing with another human being in one field of awareness. There's no limit to what two open hearts can do together. Yes, being open with the heart, being open with the emotions, being open with the fears, the vulnerabilities, all that, you guys. That's very nice. I love that message. Let's go ahead and I'm going to get one of these real quick. See what else comes out. Intimacy is very hard. It's, you would think it would be a really easy thing, but it's just not. It's not when you've come up in the seeker. The seeker. We are going to read that. I love that. Seeker. Wherever you are on your journey, it is always the beginning. It's like the Fool card in the tarot, so it's very fresh, new energy. A chance for something fresh here. This could be, in the bigger picture, this could be talking about new relationships, new endeavors, but requiring and absolutely almost demanding the vulnerability and the open heart for this endeavor or this journey to be more authentic and truthful to you. So you aren't living in a place of hiding parts of yourself to make somebody else feel more comfortable or love you more or be around you more. Nothing, if somebody wants to love you or be around you or cares about you or wants you in their business or job or whatever this is, they will see your worth. They will see your value just as you are. You don't have to water down. You don't have to spice up. You can just be you and just be open and vulnerable and honest about who you are and Just be that person. Just be who you are. Be not what you've been told you should be, not who everybody thinks you should be, or, it's what feels right. How does it feel? Now, what does it look like? How does it feel? It's just, even with this channel, there's been times like over this last couple months where I'm like, oh, I started this channel, which I'm not saying I haven't enjoyed doing it, but I started it and never, now I'm like, oh, and now I'm not going to put out videos. So that's really like, what are people going to think? It doesn't matter what people think. And that's the truth. It doesn't matter what people think, because they are not walking in your shoes. They are not you. They do not know your experiences, what you need to be, and what you are going through, doing. It's just, if they like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. If they want you in their life, you'll be a part of life. If they don't, you won't. And you can just keep honoring you, if that makes sense. Don't let those questions invade what you're doing, okay? Because you know what you may not know what you're doing all the time, but you're doing what you're doing for some reason higher than you may even understand. So that is another message that's coming in. Okay, it says every journey begins with a single step, sometimes chosen with or without planning, thought, or even preparation, often lacking clear direction. The journey becomes a quest for knowledge, experience, and eventually wisdom. It's a spiritual need that drives the seeker to step on to a path and follow the road where it leads. The way may be fraught with danger, and sacrifices may be required, but a youthful soul and a joyful heart welcome the challenges set forth by the unknown, for it is only through experience with the unfamiliar that we learn and grow. Something very unfamiliar energy. I have been talking about this before. I have not been talking about it on film, but I've been talking about this in my real life. Like, this is a real thing. This energy is very new. I'm feeling it. I know everybody else is feeling it. There's just a lot of really new energy coming through, and it's a big shift. It's a big change for us, and it's a lot for us to wrap our heads around. There's a lot, so I'm just going to leave that there. But I think if you're watching this, you're feeling this tremendous change, and the growth is happening on an individual and a collective level. It's just happening. It's just, there's huge things that people are opening up and seeing, and a huge expansion in the thought processes and perceptions, and just so much awakening happening all over. So much awakening. That's the word. Or evolution, or expansion, or whatever, however you want to label it. It is big, and it is new, and it is growth, and it is good. And we just got to walk those steps into the unknown with trust and authenticity for what we're also evolving into personally on an individual level, but also how that influences the collective is very important. We want to step into, because I believe that our true authentic selves are pretty awesome and pretty perfect, actually. What makes those things about us not perfect is the labels, the judgments, the criticisms we put on ourselves, others put on us. And the fight, the battle to not be yourself, the battle to not be the energy you are. I always kind of get this like there's different currents or waves or rivers of people or energy, like different wires, and we're all different. We all have a different energy. But like there's groups. There's like that's where you get like soul tribe and like that kind of energy. And I could get into all that stuff too, but I won't. But there's just so many different flows of energy working together to power more growth, more evolution, more expansion, and just the whole I want to say machine, but it's the whole life. It's I want to say like the mechanism or the mechanics of life, of nature. We all have our special part in nature, and we need to honor that as the energy we are, and have trust and faith that that's exactly, it's not going to be like the guy sitting next to you. Your energy is your energy, and to try to change your energy causes a lot of conflict, and it's not authentic to who you are. I like to believe I'm just a total like romantic, sweet. Of course we all want to, but I'm really actually pretty tough, and I'm actually pretty like, I've just done a lot of thinking, about sweetness and toughness, and the stuff we go through, and did that make me tough? Or I'm just really kind of a strong, tough energy. Like it's a tough energy. And I think everybody, and then there's just like these really gentle, really more like gentle energies, and there's like more like and there's pushy energies, and there's like You know, because they're all meant to be doing something different with that energy. And I truly believe that, you guys. I feel that. So honor the energy you are is another message I'm totally getting with this. And seek out the thing that is in most alignment with that energy that you are, the soul you are. Okay? That's what I'm getting. So the guideline is a journey into the unknown. Here we find the beginning of wisdom as we gather knowledge. Driven by the great desire to accomplish wonderful goals, the spirit seeks growth and development through experience. And we can only experience that, you guys. And this was part of my metaphor or of the lighthouse and kind of getting down in the, like, doing the work that you kind of, like, you need a break, and it's okay to take breaks. And even if it's years, like we've taken years to do that work and go, oh, I'm not supposed to stay here. I'm supposed to go do this with this energy. I'm supposed to be. So you need that experience to keep growing the skills and the mindsets and the and bring those perspectives and those things down to, if that's your energy. I mean, if like me, that's my energy. I'm to bring some of this stuff that I gather, and I think all of us are gathering, to your friends, to your family, to your workplace, to life, to the earth. We're in physical form for a reason, and I truly believe that. So we need to, even after taking time and breaks and doing a lot of soul searching and seeking, we find that there's only one thing that works to honor this energy, and that's to do that physical outlet. So we have to physically put this energy into something. Yours may be family, yours may be children, yours may be animals, yours may be art, yours may be work, yours may be peacemaker, yours may be agitator, and getting people to think differently, maybe. You know, there's so many different energies doing so much different, have so many different purposes. I can't just cup them into like one little thing, because it's just much more than that. The journey brings occasion for new opportunities and unlimited possibilities. Take stock of your surroundings and what assets you currently have at your disposal. So what can you utilize? What can you minimize? What can you maybe integrate from your environment to help move you along towards something that makes you feel like you're accomplishing something with the energy, with your energy. This is feeling like it's very personal or individual. It feels like I could be talking to a lot of people, just really figuring out what the purpose of their energy is, and what do I need to be doing with this energy that's building up inside of me and wants to be integrated and utilized for the collective, for our world. So this is this is all a long process, but this is hard to explain. But if you're here, you know exactly what I'm trying to say here. So forgive me if it's not coming out right, you guys. Choose your next step with care and allow your destiny to manifest. What is meant for you will be. And that is beautiful. I love that. So let's see what the journey of love has. Rings of time. Rings of time. 44. Okay. Let's read that. I'm just as curious about this message as you guys. Divine timing is granted to us as a gift. Sometimes if we want to be further ahead. Yeah, this is feeling like that. Like maybe you want to be further ahead in your journey. Maybe you're still trying to figure out, what is my energy trying to do? What is this? What is my purpose? Or what is my path? Or what's my next step to honor my energy, honor my value as the soul I am. And it's a process, you guys. So it's, this gift can seem like restriction rather than generous holding. That's kind of how I've been feeling also. I'm going to be really honest, like I would say not being able to come up here and give readings. It's just not even, it's like I would be able, but it just wouldn't feel right. Just nothing. The only thing that's felt right lately is kind of sitting down in my silent time in between tasks, physical tasks like work and couplery and my kids and like my relations, and just doing a lot of thinking still, doing a lot of, it's not even thinking, a lot of feeling. There's been tears choked back, there's been tears released, there's been inner smiles is what I call them, like chuckles, and like there's just been a lot. There's a lot. So it says sometimes if we want to be further ahead than we are, that gift can seem like restriction rather than generous holding. So I feel like this is universe, spirit coming in saying, I am holding you in a very safe place. Okay, so if you feel like you're not moving forward right now with this full energy and with this vulnerability and this open heart right now, you're being held with love and regards for real. Much like traffic that moves systematically so that not only one car, but many can reach their destination according to a greater harmony and alignment. We are like individual cars that must sometimes accept red lights and at other times can flow swiftly through many green lights. Yes. It's crazy. Like that's what kind of has been feeling like. It's like a red light. Like stop, observe, watch, and then you're kind of just waiting for that green light. You're waiting for that go. I've actually been doing a lot of reading too. I've got a whole bunch of like Audible books that I've downloaded. A couple really good ones. If you like to Audible books, I read like Wheel. And the Jada Pinkerton Smith. There's also one called The Laws of Human Nature. There's that Matthew McConaughey. I haven't started it yet, but it's called Green Lights. It's a lot of that kind of energy. Like when the universe says stop, you need to stop. And when it says go, you need to go. It's interesting, but that's been this energy. And I needed to stop and do a lot of thinking here and a lot of feeling and a lot of just, yeah, there's lots of traffic going on. That's what this is, a very good metaphor for that. It's like lots of things going on. It says the systematic flow of divine energy through human manifestation. Cars sometimes accept red lights. We are like individual cars that must sometimes accept red lights and at other times can flow swiftly through many green lights. It is just this way. This may be in regards to your love life, your career, your passion, like maybe your next project, your next inspiration, something you're just like, when is this all going to come together? When is this going to be known and seen to me that this is exactly what I'm to be doing and what I am doing, like in this position here, in this part of my life, or this job, or this relationship, or this, there's red lights to stop because there's a lot going on behind the scenes. As I have said this a lot in my videos, that's how I describe it, but this is describing the same energy, but it's using cars and traffic as a metaphor. So I do like that. It says your spiritual maturing, is happening perfectly. That's been another thing, you guys. It's like, just because you aren't sitting at your altar or your desk or your, and you're not pulling your cards, or you're not doing your singing bowls, or you're not doing your yoga, does not mean you're not doing the work. This has been a huge, even for me, a huge misjudgment. You can see a lot of people in the world that don't do this kind of stuff. They're doing other stuff. It does not mean they're not doing the work. You can be very much so doing your day-to-day, and in those moments in between, those times in between action, there's a lot of work being done. There's a lot of thought happening. I've learned this, and maybe this was God or the universe's way of showing me that's you too. Like, you know, it's very interesting. You can do that too. Like, you can still do work and be busy, I've been pretty hard, I would say, on people that busy themselves so much that they don't take time to sit still and do the healing and the work. And I'm just getting so much, everybody's doing this in such different ways, and their energies are so different. It's just, we have to honor our own, okay? Yeah, and whether you think you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not growing, or I haven't sat down and done my routine, my spiritual routine, or maybe you haven't went to church, or maybe you haven't read a book for a while, or maybe you haven't sat down and pulled cards, or maybe you haven't done your yoga or your singing bowl or your meditation for a minute. There's a growing and there's a maturing to being out of that also. And actually it's an integrative process. It's a process of growing while having all these distractions and all this stuff. It actually can feel, I think we avoid that a lot when we especially first start really digging into this deep psychological work that we're doing. We avoid the distractions in the external environment because we really want to get this stuff done. We really want to focus on getting there. We want to get to that place of peace and inner stillness and inner happiness and inner acceptance so that we can accept everything that goes on around us. And then when we go back into it, we can utilize the tools about the inner stillness and the inner peace that we've learned during those times of less distraction and put it into use while we have those distractions, while we have the stuff, the busyness going on around us. So we learn how to drive. It's like that. Like, this is a really good metaphor. What I'm getting is, it's like if you're learning to drive out in a field, you know, grandpa takes you out, you're learning to drive the truck out in the field. Okay. You're doing great. I mean, you can practice your brakes, you can practice your gas, you can do your wheelies, you can practice your turns, you can practice your reverses. It's you could just make a mess of it, right? You can just be in the learning process, be in the safe and getting, and it's more about like feeling safe behind the wheel, okay? So we learn to feel safe behind the wheel, which is like our body, okay? Like this is the metaphor I'm getting. That's the out in the field driving the truck. You're behind the wheel. It's not grandpa necessarily teaching you to drive. It's grandpa getting you to feel safe and confident about being in the vehicle in the first place. Okay. So it's like, first we kind of integrate our spirits, our souls, our energy into our bodies. And now it's like, oh wait, but this body can't stay out in the field. I can't keep driving out in the field because it's always safe there, because grandpa's there and there's no signs and there's no lights and there's no rules and there's no traffic and there's not other people, and I'm good. Now it's time to go back in. It's time to go back in. And now you're in the city, okay? And this is a different process where you actually are like, oh, I feel safe in my vehicle, but all this other stuff around me, I have to learn to. So then it's learning like the best routes to take, the best streets to take, the ones with the less lights or the less hectic traffic, whatever. You know, that's the metaphor I'm getting for what's kind of coming through right now. So I hope that helps somebody, okay? You're growing either way. You're growing when you're learning to feel safe in the vehicle, in the body, and you're learning and you're growing and you're maturing as you learn to navigate in the body through the bigger body, the bigger body, the bigger place, okay? I feel like that's kind of where I've been. It's just learning to be in my skin, in my body, in my field with safety and security in just being. But now it's like, oh, how can I navigate through all of this now? And it can feel very overwhelming, you guys, and we can feel almost lost in it, and like, when is there going to be like a clear road ahead of me? Why do I feel stuck? Like and if you think about traffic, there's a lot of other people on the road that might not know how to drive, or they stopped when they had a green light, or now you're stuck in traffic behind them, and it's not your fault. It's just the way it's going. It's just the way the traffic's going. You have to wait, and then as soon as you get and then maybe you get out of the jam or whatever, you learn, okay, I'm not taking that route again. I'm going to take a different road next time and see what happens. So there is like that message coming through. I hope that makes sense to somebody. Yeah. It says, this oracle brings you the message that the divine is completely responsible for the timing of every event, opportunity, and happening of grace in your life. And this is about being graceful, as even not moving forward is a time to sit still and grow and observe the environment and go, and not just the environment, the paths you've already taken to get where you're at. And what can you navigate differently moving forward? And sometimes you just can't help it. Like, you may know that this is the best route to take. This is the best route to take. This is the safest route to take. This is the clearest route to take. This is the fastest route to take. But yet, can always be something there that just, like, wait a minute, I know this was the right way to go. But there's some unbeknown thing. You have to just be humble and be like, oh, a hay bale just fell in the middle of this road that's never here on any other day. So I gotta wait. Sometimes you just gotta wait and see when you can move forward. Or maybe you're meant to challenge yourself to take a different route, even if that route seems busier or more hectic. Sometimes that's just what we're being led to do, but just do it with that acceptance that this is part of learning and kind of putting your vehicle in traffic. Okay, I like that metaphor. It's coming through really strong. This applies to all of your plans. So having this grace, all you need to do is live your life. And this is beautiful, because this is what I've been feeling like. I've been having fun. Like, I've been playing on my game and been reading my books, and deep down I'm really enjoying like the downtime. I call it downtime, but this is good time. Like, when I sit and do these readings and I read, I love reading, and I love feeling inspired, and I love soul searching, and I love digging in the depths of our deepest parts of our heart and soul and mind, and finding ways to feel better here in this body, in this world, okay? and it's just part of my energy. It's part of my nature. But I also love kind of having fun, playing games, reading a book about somebody else's life, where I'm like, why am I reading? You know, I do. I beat myself up sometimes. I'm like, why do I even care about Will Smith's life? Because he's human and he's went through a lot of things that I went through, or his wife is human and they went through a lot of things, and they're all human things. And I do absolutely respect and admire the courage and the absolute courage it takes to put your journey on paper and share it, or on video and share it with others, because we're human and you are not the only one going through something. You're not the only one that's been unsatisfied in your marriage or in your life, or you're not the only one that's lost or grieved. So it's beautiful to read those kind of books, even though you're like, oh, nobody would care about them if they weren't famous. And I've thought that too. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of that thought too, that judgment. They're humans. It doesn't matter what their job is. They're still human. The ego and all that, that's separate from the actual human nature, okay? These are all human beings. And maybe people do pay attention more, and that's why it's that much more important for these people, especially that are well-known or well-recognized, to share their stories with the world, because it's just, it's really admirable. You know, that, you know, you could say people that have a lot of physical, like, stuff and physical, like, recognition in the world and stuff have a lot more to lose too, you know, by being courageous and sharing their story. And they do it anyway because they recognize the humanity of themselves and everybody that, and they can only hope, like we can hope, that other humans see their humanity behind the ID, behind the mask or the work or the job or the label, okay? That's another side message. Like, I don't believe in any coincidences. I believe I've been reading all these books for a reason, and I believe it's to bring those messages of what I've gathered from them into what I'm doing. So that's another message, okay? It says, all you need to do is live your life. Everything else is taken care of for you now. Isn't that comforting? And it really is, you guys. It's all taken care of. It's taken care of. You just need to take care of yourself and live your life. This applies to all of your plans and the unfolding of all of your relationships. So don't worry about the relationships. Don't worry about the plans. Just live. Just live. Live in your skin. Live in your safety. Live in your sanctuary. Live in your love. And just live. And everything else it's simply magic, you guys, the universe and the way it works. It's just, we may not always see what's coming, and that's okay. We're not meant to. We're just meant to keep being the energy, the lives we are. Okay, I love that. It says, let it all breathe and let the divine happen as it will. I love that. Okay, releasing control is another huge message in this. Releasing control of what people think of you, releasing control of, like, maybe what path you're going to take. Just know that if you're in a traffic jam stuck, you're there to learn something or observe something about that. Later it'll come in. If you're stuck reading audiobooks for 3 weeks, something's going to come in about that, okay? Trust that everything you're doing right now has a purpose and a lesson, or it's there to show you something. And that is a big message. Okay, you guys? That's beautiful. All right, let's get one from one of my most favorite decks. The Galactic Heritage cards. Whoa, we got 2 here. And let's get one more. And I think this will just about wrap it up, you guys. There we go. Okay, what do we got here? Primal Fear. Killing, Crisis, and Purging. An Equal Value Philosophy. I love this. I love this. These cards never let me down, you guys. This is a great deck if you guys are never... They know, the universe knows exactly what needs to be addressed. And these cards, the channeling that happened for this deck, I don't even know. It's magical. It really is. This was a deck that I used a lot for just myself. But then I started sharing it with you guys, like, I don't know, a couple, like, this last round of readings. Really, I didn't really ever break them out, but I've used them consistently, and they gotta be probably my favorites, actually. Like, I have quite a collection, but this definitely one of my favorites. Probably the favorite, probably my favorite deck, honestly. I have some beautiful decks and beautiful compilations, but this Galactic Heritage, it gets it. Now, if you're not into, like, alien beings and being a star being or star child, or, you know, just a person of the universe, like, it's very galactic. That's what they're called, you know. This is about the reptilian. It represents a parallel. So parallel is like parallel time or parallel universe. And then we have the healing crisis and purges, which is Orion, and it's present. And you can also, like, I will just say this, like, you can go on Etsy and there's people that do your birth chart and say, oh, you know, if you have like this constellation or this thing, you're probably Pleiadian. Like, it gives you like your origins or your possible origins from galactic star tribes, okay? And then we have the Pleiades, okay, Pleiadian, and it is future. So that's really interesting because we've got a parallel, a present, and the future. So this primal fear, okay, it says there are many reptilian beings within our galactic family, but few are hostile. However, because they seem ugly and alien, humans often project negative attributes on them. They represent the unprocessed and denied fears within us. These primal fears create illusion for the purpose of protection and survival, but these illusions are rarely based on reality. This card asks you to look deep within yourself for the fears that you have not yet faced. Know that they will continue to threaten you until you control, own, and finally embrace them as a valuable part of yourself. We were talking about that with this vulnerability and facing our fears and sharing our fears and it being intimate with our truth. And this says this is another archetypal card dealing with one of the most distasteful aspects of being human: fear. It has less to do with actual reptilian species, for which there has been much misunderstanding and or negative disinformation propagated about them. This species is peace-loving, gentle, and very ancient. Those wishing to spread fear about this species recognize the powerful effect reptilian imagery has in the human subconscious. A small percentage of people who pick this card will have reincarnational ties to this species. If you feel this is you, explore it further. If this card comes up in your spread, it is most likely asking you to go through a process of confronting your deepest fears, for only in doing so can you spiritually transform. The card asks you to embrace otherness and an idea or way of being that is different from your comfort level. In one way, this is a very shamanic card because by confronting these fears, a powerful force can be unleashed within your consciousness that can free you from many old habits and patterns, both in this life and coming from others. This card is a challenge for you. Can you walk into the unknown, the seeker, and face intimacy and face that which you fear the most? Oh, that's deep. This could be loneliness. This could be abandonment. This could be, oh, if I am myself, these people are not going to like me. They're going to reject me. They're going to shun me. They're going to call me names. They're going to label me. They're going to judge me. They're going to throw me out. And that kind of goes with what I was talking about with like famous people, the spotlights on them, like more than maybe like me or normal, like I say normal, but they're normal people. They are all normal people. It's just there's more eyes on the culture, the famous and profound figures and people in our culture. That's big, that's heavy, you guys, and it's big. It's saying, does it matter? It doesn't matter who's watching, who's looking. Face the fear of being true, vulnerable, intimate about yourself, your life, your thought process, your perspectives, your feelings, whatever it is. Be the energy you are and face the fear of being cast out, left. You know, I haven't done a video for a very long time. I for sure thought I was going to come back and maybe have, if I was lucky, 10 people left. I still have most of my subscribers, you guys. It shocks me and it makes me emotional. And it, like I said, I never did this for subscribers, but just knowing that people don't just leave you because people understand. Like, people understand our humanity. There are people out there that understand you are doing things. And these are very aware, awake people that are like, hey, you don't take stuff personally. Like, you know, there's so many people that would be like taking things personally, like, oh, well, that person just, you know, when you put like a book out there, they'd be like, oh, that person's a cheater, or that person's a drug addict, or that person's this. And you think, oh, but there's so many people out there that understand that people are people and people are doing people things, and they aren't there to just serve you. Okay, they're there doing a multitude of things. There's so much more than just one job or one thing that each of us is trying to embrace and be and do for the collective. It's not just one family or one friend or one job or one, it's multiple things. So that's really made me emotional. So it is a deep primal fear. And why? Because I've been also, like I said, reading Audible books. This is all coming into this message. I think it needs talked about. So we are a species, as always, relied on our tribe, our community, our when we have that, we die. We get shunned. We die. That's the primal fear. We die. We get left alone. We get shunned out of the pack, the tribe, whatever it is, and we die. But there's the thing we don't, you say, oh my God, that's so sad. It's so true. But I watch a lot of nature shows too, and there are always others, tribes, other packs willing to take in the lone wolf or willing to take in the one who got shunned. Now maybe, it's like, bigger, maybe better in that primal fear energy. We're just not there anymore, I feel like. I feel like this is like everybody. So how do I put this? How am I trying to word this? Okay, so like even though there's been many different packs or tribes, or I feel like we're all one, and that's what is nice. Like, okay, so if you are an artist, there's certain communities in the world that you could live where your art will be more reciprocated, understood, all that. There's different places for different energies, okay? It doesn't mean it's the place you were born, though, necessarily, okay? So don't take it as rejection. If you're just like, man, my talent or my, I live in the middle of nowhere, and like what I do and the kind of energy I am feels very like alone. I feel alone a lot, like in my like esoteric kind of like way of thinking, in my really like deep like psychological mystical like weird way of thinking. I feel really like there's not a whole lot around here for me or like me, but there is. I'm not alone. I'm not alone, and I know that like in my heart. I can look around, I'm like, yeah, there isn't really a place for this, but as we grow and as we evolve, there is becoming like more. We didn't even have like a crystal shop here or like an esoteric like incense, essential oil, like nothing like that until just a couple years ago. Like big cities, they might have these on every corner, or they have like where you can look at all the different religions and all the different walks of life and civilizations. I'm that kind of like energy. I don't just hone in on one. I am all about all of them, like, because it's all the same thing to me. But that's just me. Oh wow, that was like off. But I will continue the reading now, guys. I can go into that because it just feels like things are growing, and sometimes you might not feel like you're in the right place at the right time, but just know the universe is moving you in the right direction. And if you're at a red light or you're at a place where you don't see the path, it will be shown to you when it's time. Okay, that's the message I'm getting. So walk into the unknown and face that which you fear the most, even if it's leaving your safety and your sanctuary and going out into traffic, big traffic, and saying, can I handle that? Can I handle all those people or all these obstacles or all this? Can I handle all this busyness? Can I handle all this? Yes, you can. Yes, you can, and you will. Okay, I love that. That's for somebody. 56. Healing, crisis, and purging. This is going to go right along with it, I can tell you. Whenever healing takes place, so does purging. This means that the old toxic energy has to be released. Often we interpret this release as a sign that things are getting worse. They are not. Even on Earth now, as we are purging and transforming, it looks like we are getting sicker, but we are actually releasing a lot of old toxic energy. This card asks you not to fear this purging process because it is an essential part of transformation. In fact, seek it out. The seeker, seek out the purging. Seek out this release. It is time to let go of some ancient patterns that you have carried for lifetimes. Primal fear. Release the primal fear, you guys. That's the message I'm getting. Release the primal fear. Oh, you've carried it for lifetimes. And as they release, know that the purge is a good sign of healing. Yeah, I've ran into this, okay, because I've been doing this work, and I run into this. You need it, it's very important for us to have people. We die if we don't have tribes. Survival's higher if you have more people. It may look like, hey, that person or that lone wolf or that person that's maybe not in the group right now or has separated themselves. It may seem like, that's not a good way to survive in this world. These are old primal fears. This is, there's always, it's just, but how do I put this? You cannot attach your energy to other energy. if you are stuck in one tribal mentality. Okay, that's what I'm trying to, I guess, say, is if we're stuck in that mentality or that energy of being part of this earth and this tribe all the time, and if we don't have that tribe, and we don't have that village, we don't have that field, we don't have that safety, we're going to fail. We're going to die. That's not true. Because in order to connect your energy to more than the field, more than the safe spot, more than the tribe, more than the village, you have to disconnect. You have to purge from those fears that if I walk out in the woods alone, I'm going to die. These are deep. There is a possibility, okay? But know that your spirit's strong. Know that we are meant to evolve into this place, even though it feels very like, that's not how we work. It's all going to connect us in a bigger way later. It's just going to take this process of everybody getting that individual strength to be stronger on their own first before we meet back all up together in the village. If that makes sense. Like, it's almost like, spirit help me. Okay, so it's like almost like sending somebody to like a boot camp or something, okay, on your own. You know, you're not really to learn your own way, okay? You have to learn who you are, what you are, not necessarily who, but like the energy you are. Really tap into that and really gain strength in that, and then bring it back to, like I said, go get seek the knowledge, seek those parts of yourself that you have that are absolutely authentic, absolutely true, absolutely your energy, no doubt, and then bring them down to the shore, bring them down to the docks, bring them down to the beach, bring them down to the traffic, bring it in, so everybody can be what they are, who they are. It's just, that's what I'm getting, you guys. So this card is also referring to an era of Orion history in which polarity conflicts were beginning to heal. I've been feeling that. There is a beginning and a healing happening with the polarity, okay? This feels a lot masculine and feminine energy. That's what I've been getting. But it's happening. It is a process. But it happens individually first, and foremost, and then we see that in others. We're like, wow, that's pretty balanced, like way of thinking or way of doing things. And then we share that with our tribe. And it's not just one house. It's not just one village. It's with our humanity, with our human species. Oh, that's loaded, you guys. Okay. Way to come back, right? Crazy. Okay. Yes, Orion actually happened very quickly compared to other civilizations. So the healing of the polarity in Orion actually happened quickly. And thus they had to go through a lot of rapid detoxification of old belief systems and ways of being. Polarity, integration, and healing is happening on Earth as well, but more slowly than it did in Orion. And this creates a lot of chaos that is seen in the world around us. It is important to believe that sometimes there is a higher reason for chaos and pain. I do believe that, as much as people don't want to believe that. It can be a sign of profound transformation. When you have this experience of pain and chaos in your life, look closely at what needs to be changed or transformed. And remember, we can't change others. We can only change and transform ourselves, and it will affect our environment. It is likely that this aspect of you is crying out for change, or even a death of an old way of being. And that's what I mean, like going out in the woods. Oh, if I go out there by myself, it's that fear of standing in your own energy without being attached to everybody else's structure and their energy and their collective energy, okay? Collectively, we are spirit. We're spirit, we are the animal, but we're spirit more than, man, I'm very passionate about this, okay? So I can get very, preachy about this. But we are spirit, okay? We are in body. We are in animal body, okay? I don't know how to do this. But that is us. And our animal part, that primal fear, that primal energy wants to stay in this safety for the flesh. And here it is, that safety for the flesh. The safety for the spirit is in the field. But we have to let everybody know that you can go through the traffic in a city that's not your city or a field that's not your field and be okay. But how are you going to learn that if you aren't on your own? And I don't mean you have to drop everybody or not, but it's just purging the idea that you have to be attached to another's energy or another's structures or their idea of what stability is. Like I said, each of us has a different energy and a different idea of stable and secure, and something makes us feel safer, It's just, and we're learning all that in different ways. Maybe some people learn to drive right in town and they never had the field, and now they're learning how to drive in a field when they learn how to drive in traffic. It could be vice versa too, you guys. There's a lot to this message, and I hope what's needing to be gathered is being gathered on the other side of this. So it's a beautiful message. It says, when you have this experience of pain and chaos in your life, look closely at what needs to be changed or transformed. It may be the death of an old way of being. If you move with the flow of this energy, despite the chaos around you, this is what I've been doing, okay? This is exactly the energy. This is really hitting home here. It says, you on the other side, you will be more integrated, healthy, and happy you. That's true. I was feeling so disconnected from like the physical, okay? Because I just was safe doing this. I felt, yes, and there is no rejection here except for from me, okay? I'm the only one that can reject myself. That's the same out there. It's the same out there. It's just not letting those behaviors of others or those laws of others or those insecurities of others influence your safety and your security as the being you are, if that makes sense, okay? If this card is in your reading, it may refer to a lifetime during this era in Orion, or it may also refer to a dramatic change happening or needing to happen in your life now. Pay attention to the message and trust the chaos, pain, and purging are not always negative things, but can lead to profound healing. Oh, that is real. That is real. I'm seeing so many things. Like I said, I wanted to cry. There's just so many things that just aren't changing around me. And it needs purged. There's a lot that needs purged. And my attachment to those things that just aren't in alignment with me need to go. But, you know, I can't change. I have to realize I can't change that. I can only just navigate and stay me. And if I get rejected, I get rejected. And does that hurt? Yes, very much so. But is there so much love and so much acceptance? Yeah, there's also that. So as you find the places in your life that you face your fears about rejection or needing to be feel accepted, all these really shadowy but really lovely things when you don't have to not be who you are to get those acceptances and those not get rejected and stuff. The right people will be there that will love you, care about you, and no matter what you've been through, no matter who you are, no matter, there is. It's just, you may be in this village where, I don't know, you know, you're just different. You're just maybe a little different than, and it's facing that fear of going into the forest, going into the traffic, to take that road trip through the scary busyness of like being alone and like feeling like, you know, there's more. You know, there's more to this. You ain't, how do I put this? You can't experience more if you stay in this primal fear or this place where you feel safe all the time. Because part of you is always going to feel disconnected from the other part of you, which is our physical, right? If you're in, or vice versa. You're all physical and you haven't ventured into the lonely wild forest within, or you haven't ventured into the lonely wild forest without. Either way, venture, face the and if you get a red light, stop, because there's something in the way. The tree fell ahead and the universe knows it and is letting that get cleared out of the way before you move forward. Something like that. That's kind of the story I'm getting here, okay? All right, so now we got equal value philosophy. And I love this coming in right after the healing crisis and purging for the future. And like I said, this isn't about future time. This is about energies and messages that I feel come through the physical, birds, trees, cards, books, movies, everything. Everything's channeled through people. And these are physical manifestations of those channelings, okay? So when stuff comes out on the table like this, I believe it's meant to be heard. And that's just my belief. Not everybody's, but that's exactly why I believe in what I do and what we do as people, like our creations and our conversations and movies that come out and directors, actors, they all do this stuff. And we don't even know why we're doing it at the time, but it's meant. It's meant. I believe that. So it says humans have gotten used to polarity and inequality. Beautiful here. The Palladian philosophy of equal value sees all things as equal, such as gold and stone. When they exchange with others, they do so from a place of equality, and the exchange becomes one of heart rather than for profit or gain. This card asks you to examine your emotions about the fear of not having enough. That can also come into this primal fear of not having enough support, not having enough people, not having enough courage, or enough to do something that you want to do. Like, you have value, even if it's like this person might be like great, like material, like creator or something. You have great vision, or you have like a mind that's like wow, you know, there's something. You have value. We all have value. It's same value, gold and stone. Okay. It says, when they exchange with others, they do so from a place of equality, and that exchange becomes one of the heart rather than for profit or gain. This reminds me of Cain and Abel, okay, the story. I always have felt this it's been over a year now when I got my first epiphany or channeling about that story. But when people sense that you don't see value in your gifts or what you've harvested or what you're harvesting or what you do, the real sin or the real shame is in that and that alone. It's not that they don't see the value. It's that you don't see the value because they don't. You have to see the value in something you do and not base that value on if somebody else sees the value in it. I think that was the biggest, saddest thing about Cain, okay, is he thought just the animals and all that and, you know, were better than the barley and the wheat and the, you know, the plants and stuff. Like, there's nothing that's better than another. Everything contributes to the mill, is what I'm kind of trying to say here. And when you start feeling like you don't have value or somebody else's value is better than yours or more than yours, then you compare yourself and you judge and you become jealous or bitter about, oh, they're better. But what you have is valuable, and it's just different. It's just different. It's just different, but it's same level of value. Maybe not to a meat eater, like somebody who brings the chicken. A meat eater is going to definitely appreciate the cow more than the bread, maybe. But somebody who doesn't eat meat is going to be like, oh my God, thank you for bringing the bread. I don't eat meat. Like, you know, like, that's it, you guys. Our value is, it's important we see our value. And we do not value our value on if somebody else sees that or not, or has the same values as we do. And that's the village energy too. Like, that village might have different values, you can't value your own individual energy on that mentality. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. This card asks you to examine your emotions about the fear of not having enough, the issue of fairness, and the difference between wants and needs and always wanting more. Equality of all things is a universal principle. But we must heal our fear of lack before we can fully embrace this principle. I love that. If this card comes up in your reading, it could have several meanings. It could mean that you have a connection to this future Pleiadian time stream, and it is calling for you to look at your current attitudes and beliefs about lack, self-worth, and the abilities to give and receive. There might be a belief that you have hidden or obvious that is keeping you from manifesting abundance in many forms in your life. And it's this hidden or obvious belief that you lack something, that you're not, that what you have has no value or no purpose or no, that there's maybe a lack of truth or authenticity to you. But it's important to go past that threshold of, like, I say it's like false acceptance, but, you know, it's really important for some people. But it's usually because they somehow have been told at one time or another in their life that what they have isn't valuable or they're worthless or whatever. They have a lot of shame or whatever about maybe who their dad was, maybe who their mom was, whatever. You have to find this for yourself and not rely on the village or anybody to know that my bread's good. And I've used this, my potato salad comes in all the time. It's one of those things that it's just, I use it as a metaphor a lot for, you know, not everybody is for potato salad, but those who are will love my potato salad. And that's it. And you know, I'm going to pick that over ribs any day, or, you know, it just depends on where you're at. Like I said, if you're artist, there's certain places for that. It's just beating the fear of kind of leaving the village or leaving the place where it's like, man, I have a lot of value, but maybe this village or this doesn't see that in me. But that doesn't take away from my value. It doesn't take away from my contribution. It doesn't take away from me, okay? It just doesn't. It doesn't take away from me at all. And that's really important for us to know, okay? All right, I love that. There might be a belief that you have, I've read that. Okay. It may be also asking you to transform your understanding of what value really means. The old polarized concept of economics is no longer working on the planet or in your personal life. It can only be transformed through your deep inner work. If you're absolutely certain this does not apply to you, then it could be that you're already embracing this concept of Pleiadian equal value, and this card is acknowledging it. Go within, connect with your higher self, and listen to the guidance about what this card means for you. Okay, I love that. All right, I love that. And let's go ahead and get a surrender card real quick, you guys, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I might pull a B one too, I don't know. It's nice to be doing a reading again, to be honest. I did miss it, but when you can't, it's not that I can't. It's just, it wasn't right. It wasn't time. Ooh, we got 2, you guys. I'm getting 2. There is 2 here. I love this. Okay. Surrender to complete healing and surrender your attachment to results. I love that. Okay. Open fully to being loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing, and surrender your attachment to results. This is a big one. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen. Then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. So true. And this has come through in a lot lately too, about this surrendering our idea of what, is successful or worth whatever. My cards just fell, you guys. But yeah, there's a feeling here of, just not having, like, if you're stuck in that traffic, or you're like, oh, I don't know when I'm going to get there, where I'm going, what am I doing? Just release the idea of, like, what it is you're supposed to be doing or whatever, and surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead the anxiety-driven life when worries arise. Breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart, and have faith that the Spirit is guiding you always. I love that. Okay, I like it. All right, let's see. Should I do a B? Sacred bee. Why not? Yeah. That one. Okay. Oh, yeah. Scarcity. Once again, don't feel like you're not enough. Don't feel scarce. If you do, it's easy for me to say don't. But really think about what I've been talking about, what Spirit's coming in, trying to say here. About divine timing and your worth, and think about the story of Cain and Abel, and think about all that I've been talking about, and our worth and our value, and how we've kind of been taught and conditioned to believe that if we aren't valuable in the village or in the home to them, then we're worthless, or if they don't see our worth or our value because maybe we aren't great fishermen, and but maybe they haven't really, maybe there's a feeling of not being even allowed to try something that's genuinely you, or there's just a feeling here of exploring more of your authentic energy and what you're actually supposed to be doing with your energy. Some people are just great hunters, fishermen, whatever, and it's great for the village. They're like, yes, we're eating. But what about the person that can't eat that, or is sick and needs medicine? What about the medicine woman? What about the counselor the hunter is traumatized from, being the hunter and needs that person to talk to, or that person to listen, or that person to understand that? It's just so much, you guys. Each of us have a role to play. It's the biggest message, and another huge message on getting to this is to face your fears of being honest about your value and owning your value. And regardless of if others value that in you or not, know that it is valuable. And it does contribute. You may not always understand how or where, what, or when, but that's the divine timing. That's the timing thing coming in. Also, know that if you've been in a safe, secure place, you're going to have a lot to learn in the chaos and the busyness and the hustle and bustle of going in the other energy, exploring that, taking in and integrating what you have to bring to that. Sometimes you got to find the right place for your energy, and the only way to do that is by getting out of the safe place. And going into a place that's like scary, and I've been playing games online and VR, and it's like, oh my gosh, and I deal with there's a lot of people that are just not nice, okay, and it's I was doing good by avoiding pretty much everybody, all people, because it's just I don't want to be around your energy, it's rotten. I am exercising my patience and my grace, my understanding and my compassion by being around all different types of energy. And sometimes people need to hear, hey, remember you're human behind that mask. Remember you have value behind this. Or I don't know what you're hurting from or what you're angry about, but where are you? Where are you in this energy? And it's easy to be who we are when we aren't looking for, is everybody gonna like me, or is everybody gonna be mad at me if I speak up about this? Or it doesn't matter. Is that your energy? I'm kind of a little warrior. I'll say stuff. I'll call you out. I will. I'm nice, but I will call you out. And I've been called out a lot myself. So And you know what? It's good as long as you ain't beating people up over it. But yeah, don't beat people up over it. But it's good to be intimate and honest, and it's okay to explore those parts of ourselves that are true and authentic and real around, explore our driving and ourselves around the people, the traffic, the rules, the laws, the structure. The structure is slowly shifting, slowly changing, sometimes faster in other places than others, but we stay, like, we are our energy. I truly believe that. It's just integrating that energy into the collective, and kind of getting it all enmeshed as kind of one, if that makes sense. That's kind of like the feeling I'm getting. So this has been a really long video, a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but I'm so glad I was able to sit down and do this message for you guys, and I don't know when I'll be back and to do another message, but I hope soon. I hope this helped somebody. I hope it helps somebody. That's it. And I was called up here to do it, so maybe it will help somebody. If not, there's just something here. I don't know. But you guys have a great day, and as always, take care of yourselves. I appreciate you, and I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're doing well, and I always appreciate you guys' subscribes, your likes, your all of it. I do appreciate it. I think about everybody that's on this journey, and truly want the best for us all, for that big, like, energy hug that we all can definitely give each other, with a lot of acceptance for our own individual selves, our authentic truth. Okay, don't fight yourself about it. Okay, just be who you are and live your life, and don't worry about who's gonna judge you. Don't worry about, just show up where you're being asked to show up, and do your best, and that's all you can do, you guys. So I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.